ribbon on me. Gotta keep a papa for the red ribbon on me.
Scare my shots on the beat.
30 hertz straight up.
I gotta keep a papa, yeah, for the red ribbon on me. Fly away on Nimbus, yeah. Headed up the commies. I need me a bag full of Sensei to get me back started. You don't even know what I've been through. This train is hyperbolic. I ain't had a session in a minute, but I'm back. Let me finish. I'ma throw on the shade. With a sign with the pivot. I can't throw it away. Young mellow.
What it do, Sensei crew, yo? It is Anime Sensei here, and we up in this joint. We gonna be doing What If Minato Survived, Part 1. And I'm ready for this. Let's get straight into this. As this takes place during the Nine Tails attack, as Kushina, who had coughed up blood, says, Minato, you need to stay alive and watch over Naruto. Because if we both die, then that means you're gonna grow up alone. We don't need that, Minato. He needs you. Naruto needs you. As before Minato could object, Kushina had swiftly made a barrier around her and the Nine Tails, as Minato was blocked out of it, as she had did the Reaper Death Seal, sealing half of the Nine Tails into Naruto. Or sealing all of the Nine Tails into Naruto. As she had passed away, as the portal had actually dispelled. Not portal, barrier dispelled. As Minato had quickly ran up to Kushina's dead body, holding on to her as a tear had slipped down from his face, as he says, I will watch over Naruto. That's what Kushina would have wanted, he says as he walks up to the baby Naruto while picking him up. As he was barely holding on to consciousness, as he had actually passed out, as Lord Third, who was actually next to Minato, had grabbed baby Naruto before he could fall. As it had taken Minato about a week to fully recover, as he had actually been ready to get back to his Hokage duties. As Hiruzen had agreed to actually watch the baby Naruto, as we fast forward 3 weeks later, as they actually have a council meeting. As Minato and the clan heads and some of the civilian councils actually there. As all of them are screaming out that Naruto is a demon who's actually next to Minato in the cradle. I meant a crib. Yeah, I don't keep up baby stuff. Sorry, y'all. But yeah. As the civilian council is screaming that Naruto's a demon and that he should die. As Lord Third suddenly says, "That is enough. Get out of here now, or we're gonna kill you." No, I'm sorry, but no, you all will die because number one, look at that. That is a child right there. It's not an adult. No. Get out of here. As Hiruzen had sent it off killing intent, bloodlust so out of it, as it had actually scared the civilian council a lot, as they had all ran out. As the only people left were the head council, the clan heads, and the Hokages. Well, Hokage, since Hiruzen isn't Hokage anymore. As Donzo steps up, saying, as you know, Fourth Hokage, you know why we are hosting this meeting today, as we come here to discuss what will go on with the the kid. Donzo said as he had actually corrected himself swiftly, realizing that Minato doesn't play in situations like these and isn't as lenient as Lord Third was. As Minato, who had been deep in thought, suddenly says, this shouldn't even be a discussion, Donzo. He is my son. His mother is dead, and by default, I will take care of him. I know what you like to do. You like to send kids from really young into your root program. As you know, Naruto is half Namikaze and half Uzumaki. We know what you're up to, Danzo, so don't even think about it. Minato says as he shows off some bloodlust. As Hiruzen actually stepped in saying, alright, calm down now, calm down now. Minato is right though, Danzo. There shouldn't even be a discussion. He is the boy's father, after all. As Fugaku, who was actually watching this, suddenly says, as much as I do not like Minato, he does have a point. This is his son, and he should be able to handle this accordingly. Though I do not like how the Uchiha clan is being framed for what's going down during the Nine Tails attack. We've done nothing. If anything, we tried to help out. The reason why there was absent Uchiha is because most of them died, and the others were safe with the other villagers. As Minato suddenly says, I can vouch for them. The Uchiha clan was not behind the Nine Tails attack. It was actually a masked man, a rogue Uchiha. So he had no ties to the clan, nor the village. So it was not the Uchiha clan. And if Danzo, I'm promising you this. If you ever, and I mean ever, leak this information of Naruto being the Nine Tails, let's just say I'll slit your throat. Minato says while teleported behind him, as he had put a slash in his neck. Not enough to kill him, just enough for some blood to gush out. As he teleports back to his seat. As Minato says, if there's no further questions, this meeting is over. As everyone else leaves out the council room, as only ones left are Minato, Fugaku, and Hisashi Hyuga, actually. As Fugaku says, you know, Minato, it seems you grew up here. Also, not sure if you know, but my son is also most likely going to be in the academy at the same time as your son. And he is an Uchiha after all, so who knows, that rivalry we once had might form again, but instead of us, with our kids. With Hisashi actually coming into the team. I totally beat both of you in the junior exams back in the day. With Minato interjecting, saying, yeah, right. If anything, the only reason you won is because you got lucky. We had a time limit back then. They only gave us 50 minutes to fight, and I mean, our fight was pretty epic. Minato finishes with a chuckle. Anyway, who knows? A rivalry that we all once had might form within our kids. Though for now, try not to get weak, Minato. Sitting in the chair all day might get you like that. Fugaku says as he disappears, doing the body flicker jutsu. As Hisashi had actually left as well, as the only one left was Minato. As he says, this will definitely be interesting. As we fast forward about 10 years later, as a kid with blonde hair is running around the village. As in this timeline, Naruto is still going to be he's still going to be Naruto, but he's definitely going to be smarter and more grounded in certain ways. Such as when it comes to his eating habits. Naruto's not just going to eat ramen all the time, as Minato can cook. I'm not sure if y'all seen that filler episode in Shippuden, but Minato can cook. And Naruto's skill level is going to be higher. As in this timeline, he's going to know a lot more stuff. He's going to be smarter as well. He doesn't know anything crazy like the Flying Raijin just yet, and he's also the top of his class. Well, nah, I'll mention the top of his class part when he's 12, because he's 10 now. Well, screw it, he's 12. As Naruto is running around the village with paint in his hand, as there's two Anbu guards trying to catch him, as he suddenly says, Phase 3. As he throws the buckets into air while doing a quick wind bullet as he hits both buckets as it splashes on the two Anbu who were chasing him. As there's paint all over their eyes, they can't even see anymore. As Naruto says, in phase 4, as he makes 7 shadow clones, each having them go to the top of the Hokage monument, as they are all painted on it. As Naruto suddenly says, phase 5, as they all disappear, as he suddenly body flickers to the classroom. As Iruka says, Naruto, you're late again. You know, one day I'm gonna have to put you in detention for how many times you're late. I mean, you know, for being the son of the fastest man in the village, you get to school pretty late. But Naruto saying, lay off. Come on, Iruka Sensei. I mean, we graduate today. The least you can do is give me a break. And besides, I was doing important stuff. Naruto says, as he emphasized important. Alright then, Naruto, just sit down. As Naruto goes up to the seat, while dapping up both his friends. As Naruto has a lot of friends, but his 2 best friends were Shikamaru and Choji. As they had actually met when they were 8, and actually became pretty good friends. As Naruto and Shikamaru often played, what is it called? I don't know what they call it in Japan or in Naruto. I know it's chess, so I'm just gonna call it chess. As they often play chess with each other, and that was something they could both bond over. Since Naruto is smarter in here, this timeline, and not as dumb. Since Minato would be around to teach certain things. As Naruto had also became pretty good friends with Choji as well, since, well, Choji hangs out with Shikamaru, so it's kind of just like an automatic friendship. And those were basically his 2 friends right there. As Naruto says, yeah, man, Iruka Sensei really needs to calm down. Maybe he doesn't have a girlfriend, that's probably why. As they all laugh at that. But Shikamaru is saying, I can see why not. Girls can be such a drag at times. Just like my mom. What drag? Shikamaru says. In a pretty much lazy voice. As suddenly, Iruka shouts out, focus! Alright. Your first test today will be the exam. As Naruto had received his paper, he had looked on it and seen a few questions. As the first question was, who was the 4th Hokage? Naruto scoffs. This is too easy. As we fast forward to a few questions later, as Naruto is currently on his last question, it happens to be, who was the Red Death of Konoha? As Naruto reads this to himself in his head, he suddenly has a little bit of a sad mood, as he remembers his fallen mother, who was currently deceased, as he never actually got to see her in person, or at least didn't remember her. He did really think she was a pretty cool ninja, as he actually did hear about her past, and how her and his father had met. As Naruto actually answers it, as it was Kushina Uzumaki. As everyone else had sped through their tests, Iruka suddenly shouts out the highest test scores, with number 1 being Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Namikaze. As everyone wasn't all that surprised, as they had actually anticipated for Naruto to have the highest score, as Sasuke in the corner stopped saying, I don't know how the dope could have had a higher score than me. As Naruto and Sasuke are friends, but it's like a rivalry, as they also do have a rivalry with Neji, who's a year higher than them, as he often pokes fun at the fact that, well, he is more skilled than them since he is higher than them in terms of rank. As both Naruto and Sasuke had both became pretty determined to get stronger, and one day surpass Neji, and surpass each other. Basically, as they kind of had a 3-way rivalry kind of going on here. As we fast forward to the end of the day, as Naruto suddenly says, man, this was a long day. All the tests, even though I did ace them, I did pretty well, can't lie. As Mizuki, who had actually walked up to him, someone Naruto was actually pretty suspicious of, as, well, the last year of the academy, Mizuki was honestly suspicious in Naruto's eyes, and honestly just seemed like he was up to something, as Naruto had actually never figured out what it was, but right now he had realized he might figure it out now. As Naruto puts up a quick mask, not a real mask, like an emotional mask, basically like a dumb mask. So Mizuki fill him in with it. Hey Naruto, did you know that there was an extra way to get a higher score? Even higher. Basically, all you have to do is steal the scroll of sealing. Can you do that, Naruto? As Mizuki says, why not? Come on, Naruto, you can do it. As Naruto had pretended that he'd fell in his trap, saying, you know what? Why not, Mizuki-sensei? After all, I am the great Naruto Namikaze, he says, while faking to be kinda arrogant. As we fast forward later that night, as earlier, before he had went to go get the squirrel, he had informed his father on what was going on, and told him he had a plan, as Minato had trusted Naruto on this. As Naruto's plan was to get the scroll and make Mizuki think as if he was going to give it to him and take down Mizuki, which his father had assigned to him as his first ever mission. A rank, he had assigned it specifically. As Mizuki had appeared in the forest, as Naruto has a flashback to where he was writing down a few jutsu he had discovered when he had opened the scroll. As he was scrolling through in the scroll, Naruto had actually found a jutsu called the Flying Raijin. Something he thought was pretty interesting, but decided he'll leave off for later. As he writes it down just in case, he sees a few more jutsu. The wind style, wind hurricane, water style, water tsunami, vortex, and last but not least, the lightning style, lightning gale stream. As Naruto thought these jutsu were actually pretty interesting, thinking to himself, Dad probably would have liked the last one. As we have a flash forward back to what's going on now. As Mizuki says, you fool! You fell right into my trap. Are you dumb or are you just dumb? How could you have fell into this? Anyway, demon brat, it's time for you to die. As he pulls out a giant demon wing shuriken while throwing it at Naruto. As Naruto had dodged in a slow motion. As he says, you're gonna have to do better than that, Mizuki. As he had body flickered behind him, drop kicking him in the back of his head, sending him flying back. As Mizuki, who had landed in the dirt, face first, suddenly gets up, saying, you demon brat, that's why you're the knot. As Iruka had appeared out of nowhere, putting a kunai through Mizuki's throat. As Naruto wonders, I'm the what is he talking about, Iruka? The 9. As Naruto still thinking to himself what this could possibly be, Iruka realizing that if Naruto thinks about it long enough, he would most likely figure out what was going on, suddenly distracts him saying, Naruto, I'm so glad to see you're okay. How did you fall for Mizuki's plan anyway? With Naruto responding, I didn't fall for the plan, I just pretty much put him in a trap, if anything. My plan was to capture him, and let's just say my first ever A-rank mission was successful. Iruka, realizing that he managed to get the topic off of Naruto's mind, suddenly says, Alright, how about this? We go, get some ramen, my treat. And then we can go tell your father on how this went. As both Naruto and Iruka had went to go get some ramen, we fast forward 2 days later, as Naruto's currently at his academy orientation, getting ready to find out what team he was going to be on.
As Iruka's calling out teams, as the first team was Shikamaru Nara, Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata Hyuga, and last but not least, Sasuke Uchiha. Unfortunately, there was one sensei who was out this year, so we're gonna have to. No, we had we had one sensei out this year, so we're gonna have to put an extra member on your squad. With that extra member being Sasuke, as your Jonin sensei will actually be Hiruzen Sarutobi. As, believe it or not, Lord Third had actually became a Jonin sensei. As he was able to do it, he didn't really have much, he didn't have all that much time on his hands. As he decided it would be a good idea and something fun to do, as he'd actually enjoyed teaching people. As he did realize he never wanted to make that mistake he had once made with Orochimaru, as he had realized how he had turned out. As after all the teams are called, everyone says farewell to each other, as Hiruzen was actually the last one to come, while saying, sorry I was late. I had to go drop off my grandson Konohama to the Ninja Academy. With everyone actually believing this, as everyone knows Hiruzen has a grandson, Konohama. Anyway, meet me to the roof as he body flickers there, with Naruto following in pursuit, using the body flicker as well. With Sasuke running as fast as he could, same with the others. As they all arrive at the roof, Hiruzen suddenly says, alright then, introduce yourself, your likes, dislikes, hobbies, and dreams to the future. You first, Naruto. My name is Naruto Namikaze. My likes? Training, reading, and, well, painting. My dislikes? People who tend to think they're higher than others, and people who want to make the ninja world worse than it already is. My dreams to the future? To end the cycle of hatred, and to become the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. As Hiruzen thinks to himself in his head, interesting goal. I wonder who told him about the cycle of hatred. I'll definitely have to figure that out later. Alright, you next, young Sasuke. My name is Sasuke Uchiha. My likes are tomatoes, training, and hanging out with my brother Itachi. My dislikes, annoying fangirls and trash cans. My dreams for the future, to become the clan head of the Uchiha clan and to defeat my brother in a fight. With Hiruzen saying to himself in his head, interesting goal. With time, he can definitely accomplish this. Alright, you next, girl. Oh, no, that sounded so... My bad, y'all. My bad. I didn't mean to sound sexist. My bad. You next, Hinata. My name is Hinata Hyuga. My likes are training and hanging out with my cousin Neji. My dislikes are people who tend to bully others. And my dreams for the future is to become the heir of the Hyuga clan and to rule over it and to change the branch side of the Hyuga clan. Alright then, last but not least, you go, Shikamaru. My name is Shikamaru Nara. My likes, watching clouds, sleeping. My dislikes are just people who are so troublesome. My dreams of the future, maybe become a cloud, or if that's not possible, just have a nice and ordinary life. Some kids, maybe a wife, that's it. Just a normal life. I'm not surprised. Most Naras are pretty lazy, Hiruzen says in his head. Alright then, team. We have one more test, unfortunately. It's called the bell test. Something that will basically determine if you're gonna pass or not. There is a secret meaning behind this test. You just have to figure it out as you go about it. Just remember, I wouldn't recommend eating. Anyway, if you have any further questions, then ask now before we go. With everyone shrugging, saying, not really. Alright then, team. We're gonna do the test today, actually. So let's go. As Hiruzen grabs onto all of them, as he body flickers them into the forest. As Hiruzen suddenly pulls out a bell, saying, Alright then, team, let's get it. So, I have 2 bells here, and the goal is to get 2 bells. Since there's 4 of you, that means 2 of you will pass, and 2 of you will go back to the academy. So, are you ready for that? Hiruzen says. As everyone had started to get under pressure and realized this was a pretty intense situation, Sasuke thinks to himself in his head, I cannot fail. I've done too much training for this, he says, while biting his teeth, gritting his teeth together. With all of them pretty much having similar thought. As Hiruzen says, alright then, 3, 2, 1, go! As they all disappear into bushes. As Naruto, who was on the left bush, suddenly thinks to himself, alright, we need a plan to take them Lord Third. Alright then, so if from what I know, Lord Third is more of a long-range fighter. So we're definitely gonna need Hinata. Since, from what I can tell, this is teamwork, obviously. This activity, that's the only way we can actually pass this. So, let me think of a plan. Since he's a long-range fighter, we're gonna have to get someone to distract him, and then at the last moment, we'll have Hinata go up to him and strike him using her gentle fist. Alright, I know the plan then. Sasuke and me will go to distract Lord Third with our jutsu. As Shikamaru will go to hold him down with the shadow possession jutsu right after. As Hinata will go and strike at the last moment. Perfect. As Naruto teleports to Sasuke first, saying, Boo! Ah, dope! What are you doing here? Listen, Sasuke. I know we're not really all that cool and all, but listen. If we're gonna pass this test, we have to work together. Fine, dope. But after this, we're not working together. Alright? Fair enough. As they both go on to get Shikamaru and Hinata, Shikamaru saying, oh man, what a drag. Why do I have to be the diversion? Fine. Alright then. So what's the plan, Naruto? Alright, Shikamaru. Here's basically the plan. I'll go in, distracting Lord Third, throwing a few kunai at him just to catch him off guard, as Sasuke will come in with a fireball jutsu. I know that most likely won't defeat him, as after the fireball jutsu, we want you to go hold him down with your shadow possession jutsu. And then after the last minute, we'll have Hinata strike him with her gentle fist. Sounds good, team? As they all put their hands together, saying, good! As Naruto says, motion! With Naruto first jumping out the bush, throwing a few kunai at Hiruzen, as it's actually confused Hiruzen. As Naruto says, Lord Third, it's honestly sad, an old man like you out here doing all this. With this catching your Lord Third off guard, it says, are you shouting, fireball jutsu! As the fireball goes hurling towards Lord Third. As he barely had any time to dodge, as he was able to dodge, as he had jumped into the air. As soon as he had landed back to the ground, he realized he couldn't move. As he looked to the left of him, he could see Shikamaru. Got you, Sensei. as Shikamaru had held him down for a few seconds, as Lord Third had actually managed to overpower the shadow possession. With Shikamaru saying, just a part of the plan. As out of nowhere, Hinata had came out of nowhere, striking Hiruzen straight in his chest, as he was barely able to stand, barely catching balance. As he had actually substituted with the log. Yep, that was just a clone. But Hiruzen was impressed with Team 7's work and what they were able to accomplish with teamwork. As he says, alright then, you guys have passed. Sure, you didn't get the bells, but you understand the true meaning of teamwork, and you managed to do it. I'm proud of you, all of you. Remember this, as I heard this from a comrade, as at the time I was Hokage. Those who abandon the rules, those who abandon the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum. Just remember that. And anyway, go about your day. Have a good day. You are officially Genny. Bring it in, team. As he salutes for them to come to a group fist bump. Go Team 7, they all shout. As over the course of the next month, as that's what we're going to be skipping to, they had done nothing but D-rank missions. Pretty much a D-rank mission every day. As I realized I have not even mentioned Minato once in the time skip that we had. So we're gonna have the time skip to later that day, as before we do the 1 month gap. As Naruto had returned home to see his father, who was actually resting on the couch, reading a book. As he reads him, saying, "Welcome back, Naruto. I did hear about what happened today, and I gotta say, I'm proud of you." As he gives up to give Naruto a high five, with Naruto saying, I am a ninja now, after all. The great Naruto Namikaze. Though don't get cocky, Naruto. Just because you're a ninja now doesn't mean you're invincible. Just remember that. As there's always going to be someone stronger than you out there, which should give you motivation to train even more. But besides all that, I am proud of you, Naruto. Good job. Though I do have a gift for you. It was something that your mother used to own. Here you go. And a gift from me as well. 2 gifts. Think of it as if she was from her. As Minato reveals a short blade that had the Uzumaki swirl on it. Naruto looks at it. He says to himself in his head, I'll value this sword with everything. And to honor my mother, I'll fight with it. Naruto says. With Minato looking at Naruto, seeing a mini him in him, realizing that Naruto is going to grow up to be a great shinobi one day. Also, here's a few new kunai. A present for me as well. Basically, they're kind of like my kunai, pretty much. Though you're not capable of learning the flying right jutsu just yet. I'll definitely teach it to you at some point, just not yet. You need to improve your funjutsu anyway. Your sealing jutsu is kind of lacking. So, when you get better at that, then you can come to me about learning flying Raijin. Fine, Dad. Naruto says, with a shrug, then anyway, let's go get ramen. As they both go to have ramen, while having a pretty good time. We have a fast forward to about a month later, as Team 7 had been doing nothing but D-rank missions. As at this point, they were pretty much getting tired of D-rank missions, as most of the D-rank missions involved them walking dogs, cleaning up dog poop, getting this turtle from a river that got lost or whatever, chasing this cat called Tora, who always ran away. I think it was the Land of Fire's wife's cat. She owned the cat, as he would always run away, and Team 7, most of the time, had to go find him. As we fast forward with them all in the Hokage's office, as Naruto says, I'm done with this. No, I'm tired of it. Come on, Dad. Can we get something better? Like, come on. I hate chasing cats every day. Always getting scratched in the face. I hate getting barked at by dogs all the time. I hate cleaning up dog poop. I hate doing chores for people. Like, come on. We're a ninja. We're supposed to fight, not do chores. I'm pretty sure that's not in the ninja's description. Come on. How about this? Can we at least get one, please? C rank mission? Come on, please. With Hinata, Sasuke, and Shikamaru both all agreeing, saying, Naruto does have a point, Hiruzen points out. As Shikamaru spoke up, Hokage-sama, with all due respect, I do think Naruto is correct. We do need a higher rank mission. As well, if you look at our team, we're pretty much capable. Sarutobi Sensei has trained us to the best of his ability. As well, he's actually taught us tree walking and water walking. As we're actually pretty good at that. Pretty much have it down pat. I'm a genius. Naruto is the brawn. Sasuke is the skill. And Hinata is pretty much the whatchamacallit. The planner. So yeah. Basically, I just think we're capable, Hokage-sama. Fine then. Alright then. Fine. Team 7, your first C rank mission will be to guard Sazuna, the bridge builder. As suddenly, Minato shouts for Sazuna to come out. As Team 7 sees a drunk man, a big fat man who was drunk, as he says, I didn't expect to see, this isn't even a bad team. We got a Nara, I think he's from the Nara clan. And we got a Uchiha and Hyuga. And hey, ain't that something Hokage-sama? It's like a clone. He says, well, it's pretty obvious he's drunk. With Naruto saying, alright, why do we have to get him? You know what? A mission is a mission. I'll take it. As Hiruzen suddenly announces, alright, Sazuna, meet us at the village gate in 1 hour. As Team 7 all goes to pack up. As Naruto is in his room, currently packing up his stuff, as suddenly he sees a woman with red hair looking down at him. She seemed to be in a ghostly form. She says, hello, Naruto. As Naruto had gotten spooked out of nowhere and had thrown a kunai at this person, as it actually went right through her, as it was obvious she was a ghost, as Naruto says, oh god, a ghost? What the heck? Naruto, I'm not a ghost. I'm your mother, Kushina says, giving off a somewhat motherly smile. As Naruto had recognized this woman, this was the same woman who was from different pictures with his father. Mom? It's you? But I thought you were... I am dead, Naruto. It's just that I came back to see how you are. I've really missed you, and I'm sorry that I couldn't be here with you currently. It's just that you needed someone in your life, even if it wasn't me. And your father was most likely going to survive. So I had to. I'm sorry, Naruto. Though I don't have much time here, I just wanted to see how you're doing. As she gives Naruto a hug, as she starts to fade away. Goodbye, Naruto says, as she had completely disappeared. As someone who was watching the scene from inside of Naruto's mind, Kurama, as he says, the kid's not that bad. As in this timeline, Kurama's more sympathetic towards Naruto since, number one, this is full Kurama, so the nice half and the bad half. So he's not necessarily mean, but not all that nice either. So we fast forward to when all of Team 7 arrives at the bridge, as Shikamaru says, alright, Naruto, I don't know why you're late, but it's alright. It's just a drag. Nara's right, dope. You are late. I don't think Naruto meant to be late anyway. It's not his fault. It's not like he can control that. Hinata says. With Naruto saying, finally, it seems like Hinata's the only one who has my back. Anyway, we need to get going. As Team 7 starts to head out, along with Kazuna. As we fast forward about 6 hours into the walk, as Naruto had actually noticed a white rabbit. This rabbit was definitely out of the ordinary. Number one, because it was spring. I mean, it was the summertime. And it was a white rabbit. So usually you'd see those in spring. So it was obvious this rabbit was out of place and was most likely being held captive for a few months. As Naruto suddenly says, "Duck!" as a huge blade goes charging towards all of them, hitting a nearby tree. As a man had appeared out of nowhere, standing right on top of the sword. As we're gonna skip all the Demon Brothers stuff, or you know what, screw it, I'll put it all in one. As two other figures had appeared behind him, well, more so below him, as he was standing on the tree thing. As the first figure who was on the sword says, well, 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 we have the Professor, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and the son of the Hokage. Oh, and the son of the head of the Uchiha clan. Interesting. Too bad. I honestly was expecting to fight Kakashi of the Sharingan. At least I had my rematch, as we had actually fought many years ago. Anyway, I'm Zabuza of the Hit and Miss. As he gives off a huge amount of bloodlust, with Hinata, Shikamaru, and Naruto, also Sasuke, were a little bit shook from this, as they didn't really experience all that much bloodlust. With Naruto stepping up first. Alright, here's the plan, team. We'll go take down the Demon Brothers. We'll leave Zabuza to Sarutobi Sensei. Who made you, leader dope? No time for this, Sasuke. Put aside your arrogance for 1 second. Fine. Let's go. As Naruto and Sasuke agree to take on one of the Demon Brothers, while Shikamaru and Hinata will take on the other one. As Naruto goes forward towards the Demon Brother, punching him dead into the face. As Sasuke, who had appeared right behind him, had thrown him right into the air. As Naruto shouts, Wind Style, Wind Gale Palm. Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. Dang it, dope. What do you mean? It wasn't even my fault. If anything, you should have... As they both had stopped talking, as they had realized Naruto's Wind Style had enhanced Sasuke's Fire Style. As they had actually initially thought that they had ruined each other's moves, as actually it actually helped each other, without even realizing they had helped each other. As the Demon Brother was pretty much burnt, having third-degree burns. My fault, yeah. As Naruto suddenly pulls him by the neck. What master do you serve? Who sent you guys in Zabuza? Who do you serve? What do you want me to say? God? Jesus? The Demon Brother says, while trying to make a joke. Naruto punches him dead in the face, saying, does it look like I'm joking to you? Alright. Listen, man, I have a wife and kids. Don't do this to me. The person who sent us was Gato. Gato sent us. Gato. Alright? Just please spare me. I have a wife and family. As Naruto knocks out the Demon Brother. As we fast forward to Shikamaru and Hinata. As Shikamaru had thrown 7 kunai. As one of them had actually landed the Demon Brother straight into his chest. As he had used this opportunity to use the Shadow Possession Jutsu. As he shouts, Hinata, go! As Hinata appears out of nowhere, doing the gentle fist on the Demon Brother, hitting him in all of his chakra points, knocking him out completely. Shikamaru says, come on, Hinata, now we can't get information out of him. It's like it's my fault. If anything, you should have let me know first, Shikamaru. Alright, we have no time to argue. Troublesome woman. What was that? Hinata says with a glare. Nothing. Nothing. As they all round up to each other, watching the fight that was going on currently between Lord Third and Zabuza. As Zabuza had sent a water dragon towards Lord Third, as Lord Third had used the body flicker, as he had actually summoned King Yama and turned him into the staff, pretty much swinging it at Zabuza. As Zabuza was able to counter with his sword, as Hiruzen suddenly jumps back, doing 7 backflips, while creating 3 shadow clones, as he throws the staff, swinging it towards Zabuza, as the dragon actually knocked him dead in his head, knocking him out. His blood had leaked from his head. Everyone who had watched this fight was honestly surprised, as they had initially thought he was dead. As Hiruzen, before he could get a chance to inspect the body, suddenly a hunter ninja appeared out of nowhere, sending a few Senbone into Zabuza. As he says, or seemingly would seem to be, he says, Finally, I found him. I've been trying to find him for a few months now. Thank you, Hiruzen Sarutobi. I'll be taking him now. As the hunter ninja takes Zabuza's body, along with the demon brothers, as he disappears into thin air. As everyone around had watched what had went down, with Hiruzen actually out of chakra, as he was actually kind of rusty, as he actually passes out, with everyone thinking that he was kind of dead since, well, he's old. As they all go to help him up, while pretty much carrying him back the whole way to Zabuza's house, at Tazuna's house, as Tazuna had offered them to stay at his house. As Tazuna and Team 7 originally get there faster than in canon. As they knock on the door, Tazumi answers saying, Welcome. We've heard a lot about you guys. My father has contacted me and told me that you guys will be staying there. So, welcome. I'm Tazumi. And I will be pretty much watching you guys, and if you guys need anything, just let me know. As she lets everyone into the house, as they all see a young boy who seems to pretty much just completely ignore them. As Naruto had actually been suspicious of the boy and wondering what was up with the boy, as he had no time to ponder on it, as the room they had rescued Hiruzen in, he had actually woken up. As he says, Alright team, I know I've been out for a little bit, but we need to start training now. From what I can tell, Zabuza is alive. And at most we have 2 weeks, a week and some change at most. So we need to up your training a lot more. As we already know, you each have 1 chakra nature. So we need to figure out your others, just in case if you ever do have any more chakra natures. So we need to get into this quickly. As Hiruzen is actually able to get up, as he wasn't as exhausted as Kakashi was, and didn't get hurt like that. As they all appeared to a nearby field, as Hiruzen says, Alright, for what I know, Sasuke, you have fire. Hinata, we don't know about you yet. Shikamaru, you also have fire. And Naruto, you have wind. So, okay. For what I can infer, this is going to be interesting. So, luckily, since I am the god of shinobi, I'll be able to teach you all whatever jutsu or chakra nature you guys have, because, as you know, I have every chakra nature. With Naruto saying, You do? I thought that was only a myth. I mean, I've heard plenty of times in a few books. Stop rambling on, dope. Let the old man explain. Yeah, right. Like, you don't think that's cool either. I know I'm not the only one. With Shikamaru and Hinata not in agreements. Okay, fine, it is kind of cool. But that's not the point, dope. Anyway, Hiruzen says while continuing on. Put your chakra onto this paper. As Naruto goes first, as it seems to turn into lightning, with Naruto realizing he has lightning. Alright, Naruto, you have lightning. I'll teach you a lightning jutsu. Next up, Shikamaru goes up next. Earth style. Okay, I can work with that. Next, as Hinata says, I don't even know if I have a chakra nature, because from the books I've read about the Hyuga clan, not that many Hyugas have chakra natures. No, young Hinata, just because of... That's fiction, you never know. For all you know, you could have all the chakra natures. So let's figure it out. As Hiruzen tells her to put chakra on the paper, as she does so, her thing turns into water. Okay, you have water. Alright then. Next up, as Sasuke would put his chakra on it, had lightning. Okay then, from what I can infer, Naruto, you have lightning. Sasuke, you have lightning. Shikamaru, you have earth style. And Hinata, you have water style. So, I'll make some shadow clones, and I'll make 4 shadow clones. Alright? You each get a shadow clone, as none of you will get to train with the real me, as that would honestly just be unfair. As we fast forward about a few days later, as everyone else had progressed pretty far when it came to their training, as Naruto had actually learned a jutsu called Lightning Style, Lightning Hornet, as it was actually more like a lightning pierce jutsu, where you could basically pierce someone with lightning. As Sasuke had learned something called the Lightning Style, Lightning Palm jutsu. Basically something like Chidori, but like an earlier version and a weaker version of that. With Hinata learning the water style, Water Tsunami jutsu. Sure, it was somewhere high to start, but she was definitely going to need it for the upcoming fight. With Shikamaru learning Earth style, Earth Needle Jutsu, as if y'all ever seen Boruto, y'all would know about Hoki, or Hayoki, I forgot his name, but he did this pretty cool jutsu that I'd seen when I watched Boruto, and well, hey, why not give that to him? Give it to Hinata, give it to Shikamaru. Yeah, Shikamaru. I just forgot for a second. Anyway, y'all, as we're actually gonna fast forward a week later, as everyone except Naruto had left out to go fight Zabuza. As Naruto had actually overslept this time, just like in canon, as Naruto had woken up to hear voices, as he heard Tazumi screaming with a few other people shouting, "Get her!" As Naruto had arrived to the kitchen to see Tazumi pretty much in a choke, basically getting choked currently, with Inari being held back. As he says, "Let me go, let me save my mom," Inari says, trying to get past these people. Sorry, y'all. As Naruto simply says, we need to make this swift. Phase 1. As he appears behind the first one who's holding back Inari. As he karate chops him into the neck, knocking him out. Phase 2. As he appears right in front of the one who's holding Tazumi in a chokehold, punching him dead in the face, sending him flying back, pretty much knocking him out. As Tazumi had looked up to Naruto, thanking him so much, Inari also thanking him, saying, I guess heroes do exist. As the whole heroes don't exist thing with Naruto and Inari actually did happen, I just didn't care to mention it. As Naruto had actually finally arrived, he could see that the fight was not going well at all. At least for Team 7, at least. Hiruzen was doing pretty well and was almost done fighting Zabuza. As Naruto could see that, well, Shikamaru was barely holding on to consciousness. Sasuke was trying his best to get out of the water dome, the ice dome, and Hinata was trying her best to fight Haku. As Naruto decides that if he goes in, it'll be a better idea. With him entering, he sees Haku as that split second when Haku went to go attack Minato. Naruto had punched him dead in the face, sending him flying back. Naruto says, "Bring it!" As Haku realizes he's not going to be able to sneak him anymore, both him and Naruto go charging at each other. As they both flash fists with each other, as Naruto had caught Haku off guard for a second, punching him in the face. As Haku had gotten up from this, suddenly says, "This isn't gonna go well for you. Ice style, ice needle," as he sends off a few needles towards Naruto. As Naruto had dodged them, similar to a motion how Goku did when he was an Ultra Instinct. Naruto says, "You think you can compare to me? Pathetic. You're not even good enough to meet my fate." As Naruto appears behind Haku, as suddenly Haku disappeared from thin sight, right in front of Hinata. As he appeared right in front of Hinata, grabbing her by the neck, as she had actually passed out, giving Naruto the false interpretation that she was dead. As Naruto suddenly falls to his knees, as he realized he had let a teammate die. Hinata. Hinata. Hinata! As Naruto suddenly starts to revert into the one-tailed cloak, as red chakra erupts from his body, as Hiruzen can sense that the nine-tails was coming out a little bit. At least the chakra was leaking out, coming into Naruto. The seal was a little off. As he realizes he needs to finish this up quickly, as he does the Earth style Mud Dragon Jutsu going towards Zabuza. As this had actually caught him off guard, but he was actually able to dodge this. As we fast forward back to Naruto, as he had been charging towards Haku, grabbing him in his face while smashing his body into the ground repeatedly, to the point where his body was nothing but bloody. As Naruto had finally stopped, he suddenly started punching Haku in the face as much times as he could. As each time he punched him, blood came. As slowly but surely he was reverting back to his normal form, as his motions of punches still kept up, as he suddenly stopped as he had realized what he was doing. What am I doing? I need to end you now. Please, end me. I don't deserve to live. My purpose is gone. Zabuza is pretty much good as dead, as he had not realized Zabuza was still alive. Just kill me now, please. I deserve it. Just kill me. As Naruto draws the kunai close to Haku's face, getting ready to kill him. As before Naruto could do that, Haku had looked to Zabuza and went as fast as he could, appearing right in front of Zabuza before Hiruzen's final attack could kill him, as it actually killed Haku in turn, as it was the fire style, fire flame fist, as that went through Haku, pretty much disintegrating his heart, killing him, as Zabuza had gotten up, saying, "That tool served his purpose." He definitely did, and I'm actually kind of proud of him. He served his purpose. Who would have thought the tool would have served his purpose? As Naruto hears this, how could you call Haku a tool when he did all this for you? He was willing to die for you. He was willing to do all of this for you, but in turn, you just sit here and call him nothing but a mere weapon? How dare you? Naruto says, enraged, as Zabuza realizes his choice of words wasn't the best, as he has flashbacks of all the good times him and Haku had been through, and everything, realizing that Haku was more than a tool to him, that he actually did care about Haku. As Zabuza says, "Hey kid, your teammates are dead." As Naruto looks back, seeing Hinata, Shikamaru, and Sasuke all passed out. They're merely just passed out. But kid, give me give me that kunai of yours, real quick. As it was a random kunai, Naruto didn't understand why he wanted it. Don't worry, kid, I'll handle this. As he looks forward, pointing to the Gato army that was nearby. As Zabuza had took the kunai, as he eradicated pretty much all of the shinobi that were working for Gato. As last but not least, it was Gato he had to deal with Gato slowly saying, "Please, Zabuza, don't worry, I can give you the money. I have money. Don't worry, you don't have to kill me. I got the money. I'll give you 5." As before he could even continue his sentence, Zabuza had flashed his neck as his head had fell off his body. As Zabuza was actually exhausted from all that and had pretty much passed out and was slowly dying. As his last words were, "Thank you, kid. You changed me." As he had died. As both Hiruzen and Naruto looked down upon him. As they had decided to bury both Zabuza and Haku next to each other since they thought it would be the most respectful way to do it. As Naruto actually asked Hiruzen a question. "Sensei, is this how it's always going to be like?" "What do you mean, Naruto? As in, is there always going to be death? Is the outcome always going to be like this?" "Naruto, I'll let you know this one thing. The outcome can only be on what you do. Your actions determine the outcome. You're not to blame in this situation. In this situation, it was Zabuza's actions. What brought him to what he is now, and what's going on with him. Don't worry, Naruto. Though I'll be completely honest with you. The cycle of hatred is terrible. And I've been meaning to ask this, but how do you know about this?" Jiraiya told me. I had seen him, actually. And one day we were having an important talk, as he had mentioned the cycle of hatred to me. I honestly thought it was something bad. I always knew it was something bad. But now, I knew the truth. I understand it more. This mission helped me understand a lot. Alright, Naruto, we need to get going. As both Hiruzen and Naruto looked back, seeing Hinata, Sasuke, and Shikamaru wake up all at the same time. But Shikamaru first saying, "Where are we?" "I think we're in the land of waves," Hinata says. "No duh," Sasuke responds. As Naruto runs up to all of them, giving them a hug, surprisingly. As he says, "Man, I thought you guys were dead. Good to see that you guys are alive." As they all awkwardly hugged Naruto back, as they didn't know what he meant by that. As they didn't know about the events that happened when they were passed out. As everyone from the Land of Waves had came up, watching all of them, as they were shouting out, "Hero! Hero Uzumaki! Hero Uzumaki!" As everyone in the Land of Waves had thanked Naruto and looked at him as his hero. As we fast forward to the day, as they all have to leave. As Naruto says, "Farewell, Inari. Farewell, Tazuma. Goodbye. We're gonna miss you all." As everyone says their goodbyes. As they all depart from the Land of Waves, as Tazuma says, "We still need a name for my bridge." "How about the Great Naruto Bridge?" Inari says. Brilliant. We'll settle with that." As everyone else arrives back to the village, this is where I'm going to be leaving it off. I hope you guys enjoyed. Road to 200. Man, we can make it. I know we can. This is a really long what if. Anyway, Anime Sensei is out.